Hello, my name is Jesse Stewart, and today I will be giving a demonstration on how to play disc golf. I will go over the basic rules, distance throwing, and putting. Disc golf as a sport started around the 1980s and has grown popularity until now. It is currently one of the fastest growing sports in the United States and around the world. And many of you have probably seen disc golf pop up in your local parks in the last decade or so and have been wondering what it is. Well, today you're going to learn how to play. In order to play any sport, you need to know the rules. The rules for disc golf are very simpler and very similar to golf. You will take your first shot from the tee off area, and then you will play your next shot from where that shot lands, and then fewest throws to get it into the basket wins. The scoring is exactly the same as golf. For example, if a hole is a par 3 and you shoot a 3, that is par, and you would be even par. If you shoot a 2, that's a birdie, that's great. Now you're -1, 1 under par. If you shoot a 4, single bogey, 1 over, 5 double bogey, and so on. Overall, lowest score wins. For the basic rules, you will have teeing off, and most courses there's going to be a tee box and a tee sign that will have the par and the distance and map out the hole. And then you have the tee box, and you want to throw from behind the start of the tee box. You just have to have one part of your body in contact with the tee off area by the time you release the disc. This course I'm at today at Ocean Shores Elementary doesn't have any tee box areas, so in this case you throw from the place with the best footing around the tee sign. And then for your second shot, you're going to go up to where your drive landed, and you're going to get set behind the disc, and it's the same rules. You have to have when you're throwing from a lie, you have to have 1 foot within a 1 by 1 foot box behind where your previous disc landed, and you have to be in contact with that area until you release the disc. Your follow through doesn't matter. And then when you're putting on disc golf, the rules get a little bit different. The green, because throwing the disc in the air the whole time, is within 10 meters or about 33 feet circumference of the radius of the disc golf basket. And when you're within that area, you have to have your body come to rest behind your lie by the time the disc is settled in the chains. If you go past, that's a 1-stroke pass. When you're driving a disc off the tee, you want to try to get as most power and distance as you can, usually, depending on the shot, because different holes are going to have different shapes and different lengths. But typically, you're trying to go for distance, get as close to the basket as possible, make your approach or putt as easy as possible. So the basics of throwing, you want to make sure when you release, you're going to get the disc on a nice angle to be able to fly. Because if you have it too much face down away from you, then it's going to want to slice left. And if you have it facing towards you, then it's going to want to slice right, and flat, it will come out flat. Typically you want to just get that angle just a little bit away from you, and when you release, it'll flip up and then fly. Different discs, they have different characteristics and they fly differently. So depending on the shot you want, you're going to throw discs differently and throw different disc, all that. So here, I'm out at open field. I have a spot on the ground, and I'm going to walk up to it and throw my shot. When I'm walking up, I'm going to start away. I kind of like to start almost facing my target, feet offset a little bit. I'm going to stand with the disc in front of me, and it's not going to move until I throw my shot. I'm going to take 1 step forward with my right foot, same foot that I throw with, and then I'm going to X step behind and plant that foot forward and drive through the disc and bring it forward. The disc will not move the whole time. When I'm throwing, I'm driving forward with my elbow like starting a chainsaw or a lawnmower, and wheeling the disc forward and following through. This one, I'm going to throw this disc so you can see my form from this angle, and I'm going to move the camera to a different angle so you can see how different discs fly at different angles. Now I'm set up here at a different angle. I got 2 discs. You can kind of see the rims are different sizes, different shapes. And they're both drivers, but they're going to fly very differently. This yellow one, yellowish green, is going to want to go right after I throw it and it flips up. And the orange one, after it flips up, it's gonna want to finish left. I'm gonna throw them at relatively the same angle. Just throwing them out there. Try not to hit any of the Canadian geese or deer that I came out here to join. And then you can see how they fly differently. First, I'm gonna go with the yellow one. That one flipped over so much that I ended up rolling right through the geese. They seem fine. Now I'm gonna throw the orange one about the same angle, and we're gonna see how it falls. You see that one? It kind of went, as it went over the geese, it kind of flattened out and then finished left. It never wanted to go right the whole time, whereas the yellow one, I threw it, and as soon as it got flat, it just wanted to turn right, and that one, it's so worn out that it just turned all the way right. So that was the basics of throwing backhand. Now I'm going to show the basics of throwing forehand or sidearm, which is a different way of throwing. And unlike backhand, which typically wants to break left, forehand, after you throw it, it's going to want to break right. The footwork is going to be a little bit different. You're going to come, and usually it's just a couple like side steps or shuffles, and driving your wrist and elbow through your target and releasing out in front of you, making sure not to roll over that wrist. First, there's a couple different grips you can use. I prefer to use stack fingers. There's also the power grip where you put your index finger like in a triangle on the disc and then middle finger on top. And then there's quite a few people who use the one finger too and just flick it. So first, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to show one from this angle, coming through a forehand, so you can kind of see my form. I'm not great at forehand, but I'm going to try. And then I'm going to switch it around and then throw some into the field with two different discs. Alright, so now I got two discs, relatively the same color, but this brighter red, when I throw it, is going to flip up a lot easier and then want to turn over, maybe. And then this dark red maroon one, when I throw it, it's going to maybe stand up, maybe not, and finish right. You can see the rims on this one, they're not totally different, but then the edges are pretty different, and how beveled they are up at top. First, I'm going to throw the bright red one, and hopefully it'll flip up and turn right, and get out of the way of the camera this time. Now the same thing as yellow on the back end. As soon as it got up, it just wanted to turn over and roll. And this one, I'm going to throw it, and it might flip up, might not, and it's going to finish right. And that one just wanted to go right the whole way. It shows you how different that, even though those two discs are relatively the same looking initially, how different they are. You're drive, you're showing up onto the green, and you're going to make your putt. We're inside now, obviously, easier to record. So I step up to my lie, I have 1 foot behind it, and then there's 3 different ways, like primary ways you can putt. It starts with like different grips. I use like a modified fan grip, where it's tight, and then I have my finger on the edge. Or you can put your fingers tight in there, and that works better for like a hard spin putt. Or you can put them like all the way flat, and that will be a push putt. So first, I'm going to show the modified grip, which is the one I use. You can see it has plenty of spin and a good mix of spin and speed, and I have more loft to it. And now I'm going to go fan grip, full push putt. You can see there's a lot less rotation to it, less speed, better height, and it puts it up into the basket better. And then this final one, you're going to be full spin putt. That one had a lot more speed, came in there on a straighter line. The reason there's all these different putts is because they have different advantages. If we start with the push putt, where you're just lofting it up, the advantage is that if you miss, it's not going to go very far because there's not much speed and it's working its way back towards the ground. Another way you think about it is like working the way towards the bottom of the basket. But a disadvantage is that you lose a lot in the wind, or if you're putting somewhere where there's a ceiling and you can't throw it high enough to get the distance you want. And likewise with the spin putt, you have lots of speed. So if you miss, you're going way past the basket, but you're taking the most direct route, and so you can go straight at the basket and it works much better in the wind. Most players use the in-between, but it really varies depending on the environment you're playing on. And then you can take any 3 of those putts and you can move them. Right there, I was in my stagger stance, you can change them, and you use any of those 3 putts in a straddle stance where you work sides. Like if there's something in the way, then you can stagger out the side, or if you're just more comfortable with it, you can do the same thing. So right here, I'm gonna go my putt, and then just go from the straddle. Now you know the basics of disc golf. You know the rules to play, so you can have fun. You know how to drive a disc off a tee and get distance, and you know how to putt. I hope that you give it a try, and I can see you out on the course sometime. Thank you.